get started with a statement from Coach here, then open up to questions whenever you're ready.
Really good week for us, exams being out of the way, and now, our student athletes have had a chance to start the winter training camp, is what we call it, and have a chance to reset, refocus as a staff and as a team. And I've been really encouraged by what I've been seeing on the daily.
I asked Snow to this, but when you lose a couple of games and you have that gap in between, is that good for you guys, or would you have rather just gotten the bad taste out of your mouth?
What'd she say?
She said she liked the little break, given how you guys' schedule has been.
Yeah, well, I guess it's how you attack it. Sometimes players don't like it because the coach will ride it out and just break down every single aspect. But I think this team realized that we did need to unpack some things, readjust, refocus. There's been a lot of change, and we needed to just figure out, what's next. And it's fitting that I picked the word for our team with that this year, because that's truly what we have to focus on every time we step out on the floor. Okay, what's next? What can we improve on next? What did we learn for the next time? Who is the next opponent? So I could see how she felt like it was refreshing, because we've been having to go on the fly. And so it's been great for us to just get back focused.
What, I guess, objectives did you have as a coach for this time period? What did you try to achieve with the group?
Well, I just wanted to get back to basically like teaching and coaching. When you have a lot of games, every coach will say this, when you have a lot of games, you don't get a chance to teach. You're kind of teaching on the fly. But you're also preparing for another opponent. This break has been a break that allowed me to just focus on Team 49 and the newness of it and the changes, et cetera, et cetera. Slim missed the game versus Southern Miss, concussion protocol. We was able to get her back. And so just getting some type of normalcy back so that we can work through our group and understand our new roles and what we need to do to be successful.
Obviously, I'm sure you've lost players to injury before. When it's your point guard, does that have more of an impact than if it's a different position? I guess what are the challenges, associated with losing your point guard so early?
Well, it would be like you losing your quarterback and then having to readjust, but not being able to readjust because you have a game in the next 2 days, And so it was just different for us when you lose someone that is, the head of the snake, you have to really figure out how we can pivot and move forward without our absence. Is that depending on 2 freshman point guards to fill in the gaps? Is that, senior leadership stepping up? These are the discussions we're having. Is the offense fitting what we're trying to do now that she's out? All of these things we have used this week to kind of figure out. And at the end of the day, we're back to being that super team. That's the intent. That's the focus. That's where we want to be. And I just truly believe that this year's team will play their best basketball later in the season. There will be more bumps in the road. There'll be more things that we have to figure out. But as long as they continue to work hard, and as long as we continue to teach, and as long as we continue to not lose hope, our best basketball will be ahead of us, because when you do lose a point guard like that, it's almost like starting all over again. And so are we a month behind? Maybe. We may be a month behind now, but we won't be come March. And so the goal, while you're working towards playing your best basketball, is to figure out how to win games. And that's where the coaching comes in, and the game plan and the preparation. And that is where I accept, the responsibility when it comes to losses.
What have you learned about those freshman point guards since KK went down?
I have always enjoyed watching them as they went through training camp in the preseason. Like, I like how tough and resilient they were. I thought that they were more talented as freshmen that I've ever had. I believe the whole class is. I think what they're learning is, okay, this is what you were talking about when you were hard on KK about this. This is what you meant during the games. Like, they just have to truly get job experience. And they can't get that by sitting down and not getting any playing time. But they're tough, they're competitive, and they're willing to learn. And I just think for me, like, I'm not gonna try to put everything on them to say, hey, you gotta, KK's going now, it's your turn. Like, I would love for that to be the case, and if that's what they want, great. But that's not the expectation that I have, and I'm not gonna allow the team to have. I think we just have to do it as a unit, and I think and that was this week, us just figuring out what that looks like, doing it collectively, and just playing like a super team.
Great. Any other questions? Well, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.